biggest thing in the community for Black people is distractions. And what I mean by distractions is that we would rather pay $200 for a pair of shoes rather than take that $200 and put it in, invest it in something that will give you a return.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so when you put those $200 shoes on and you walk out that store with those shoes on, you're going to be happy for a little bit. But in 6 months, those motherfuckers not worth $5.
Guess what that's called, though? Because we've been suffering for so long. That's called instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we get everything that we do is instant, we want instant gratification because we have been waiting so long to be happy or waiting so long to treat right. Be treated right. Waited so long for all of these things. So we gravitate. Anybody gravitates towards instant gratification. That's why we in relationships. That's why you go sleep with him real quick. That's why you go do all of these different things that may have adverse effects on you.
But the bad thing about that is the enemy knows it as well. So if the enemy knows they need instant gratification, let me get that new Gucci fit out. Let me get those new shoes
dopamine,
out. These niggas spend their pay for every fucking thing. And so so you have people spending their income tax. Listen, man.
That's why they say that forgive me because it is a saying that white people made their heaven on earth, and they told us ours was in the sky. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard that.
Have you heard that before? Have you heard that?
I've also heard the hell is not underground; it's right here.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to continue to get worse until
but the fucked up thing is during the pandemic, all these fucking PPP loans. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Say for instance, the government gave you $25,000, gave you $25,000. That's 50. You get us in here. That's 100. 200. You almost got $300,000 in this room. All of us have some fucking sense and not go out and buy wheels and fucking decorate an apartment that you'll never own. With $300,000, we could have bought some land. We could have put something on that land. We could have leased that land to a business or a company and got a major return back, and all of us sitting on the beach next year.
Who taught us that?
But instead, like those dumb motherfuckers in California found out that whole beachfront belonged to their family. And then they gave it to them, and then the city bought it back for $28 million. That shit probably is way more than that.
It is.
But
I didn't agree with that.
But the instant gratification, I'm telling you guys, go and watch a documentary on YouTube. It is called "Selling to the Negro," and they break down how Black people walk in a store and they'll see something for $3 that they can really use, but they'll rather pay $83 for it because of the name. It is so fucking stupid. Like right now, I have this Puma fucking hoodie on. If you take Puma off this motherfucker, it's a Walmart hoodie.
And nobody would buy it. Yeah.
But see,
I got this motherfucker because it was $5. I'm cheaper than the motherfucker. I'm telling you, I keep my money in my pocket.
But see, this is also something too that a lot of us and getting the little education that I did have in substance abuse and being in the community of where I had to be, these things are not taught to us. These things and these resources of where we can learn about what we need to do, how we need to handle our finances, how we need to go and invest, or how we need to do things, that's not taught to us. Those things are kept out of our schools. Those things are not, they're under, but they can't afford that. Nobody takes the time to be able to do that. And then nobody comes in, or if they do come in, it doesn't look cool. And Future didn't come in and say, hey, y'all, come to this shelter over here that can give y'all this and give y'all the education to be in politics so y'all can change some things in your community, or turn around and do this, or go back into your community and tell your brother or tell your sister to be able to plant those seeds. No one does that. So it don't look cool. Nobody says nothing about it on the internet. So don't nobody want to look into that. And then you have a person that comes up off of what they see on the internet, what they hear on the radio, and what's going on in the times, and then that's what they put out into the universe.
But you know what though? Let's back it up. Let's rewind it, because I know the left side of the room need to cook. 68. Let's go back to 1968, before Jordans, before all this flashy ass jewelry and rap music and all this shit. 1964, Martin Luther King did a speech, I Have a Dream speech, right? He got there and said, I have a dream that everybody, white girls and black girls, sit together and eat. And he was pumping his fist. He had millions of people believing in hope. 1968, right before he was assassinated, he had another speech nobody talks about. He said, listen, I've lived long enough to see my dream become a nightmare. He said, I've dove into it. What I believed then, I don't believe now, because I put myself into it. And he said, now they, right. He said, I went into the government. I found out that they have subsidies for land that they were supposed to give people of color. But guess what happened? They gave all of it to the Caucasian community. and the black people had nothing. Imagine what the generational wealth would have looked like if the world was fair to us then. So Martin knew then. He said, you know what, fuck that, I have a dream speech. That shit ain't real no more, because now I see this shit for what it really is. So us as a culture of people, we have to understand, when them new Jordans come out, they charging you $200. Look, inflation is a motherfucker. It cost that Indian woman $5 to make that fucking shoe.
Right.
Go watch how they make them. Where is this symbol? Logo. They put that logo on that bitch and sell them to you for $200.
That gotta be explained to them. That has to be explained.
No,
it
has
to be explained. But here's the thing: I'm a very bootstraps person when it comes to a lot of things. So like the thing is, the environment is horrible for the black community. It is. That's absolutely horrible. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what human in any part of the country or any part of the world, if they were raised in a shitty spot, they had to work their way out of it. It doesn't matter where we look, anywhere. And in America, we are so fucking lucky here. We are so privileged. It is insane. So to sit here with all of the stuff that we have here and we just squander it, dude, at some point you have to take accountability and say it is our own fault.
And
you know, we got to step up.
But this is the only difference of what I'm talking about between what y'all are talking about, grown people. I'm talking about starting it even earlier at adolescence. I'm talking about going in as children. I'm talking about going in as kids when it really is going to affect the future, our dreams, what we are embedding in us and saying, I feel like this. Because what I did later on in my life to get my degree, I thought about that when I was 16. I sat outside in my backyard in between my mom's legs as she greased my scalp. No pun intended, being a nigga, nothing like that. That's what we was doing. And I told her that I felt like how I was going to leave my footprint on the earth was I was going to be a counselor to underage girls. And that was what it was at 16. And what I do now correlates with what it is that I said at 16. That's because I had examples. My grandmother was a counselor. Other people in school, I went around older people. I gravitated towards older people. They put wisdom in me. They gave me resources. They said, come sit down and do this. If that was more time that was taken before we even get in, before the experiences happen, before the mentality is built up, before the cycles and the habits are built, then we can we can produce better people that go out there and are doing what you're talking about. Because I agree that are doing what we all talking about, because I feel like we all just want respect.
So it all goes back to the systematic shit, though. So so perfect example, like my family, I come from a very successful family of Hispanic people. So I learned all that stuff about 401ks and all this from my father at a very young age. Okay, so like the thing is, though, you can't just flip a switch and make it to where the black community is going to have those type of things. You just can't, because systematic oppression has put y'all where you're at. So you have to literally forcibly teach people, like, even though people hate people like us coming and speaking the truth and stuff, there has to be more people doing this, more people talking about how stop buying Gucci, stop buying all this stupid shit. One of the biggest things I preach on this fucking channel is for y'all to stop falling for the guys that are peacocking, using Gucci, using stuff like that, because they're obviously losers. They don't understand how money works. They haven't understood what a 401k is, IRA is, and shit. Like, y'all, and this is the biggest issue. And one of the biggest things I teach on the show is if women kept their legs closed, not saying that any of y'all don't, but if every woman kept their fucking legs closed, if they were in a relationship, men have to step up. They have to become better men, because how do they get the pussy to have the kids, let their lineage go on? They have to become better men. But what happens when you let a guy that ain't shit get your pussy? He gets to stay. He gets to stay ain't shit. He keeps fucking more girls while he ain't shit, and he's gonna keep doing it, because why the fuck would you improve?
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you, and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.